Hello, guys. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? I was not here last week, and I didn't set up like a thumbnail or anything fancy uh, going on with this particular live stream. Um, it has been a hectic week. But it seems like every week is a hectic week for me. So I've got to get that managed, don't I? I'm having an iced coffee. How are you guys doing? We doing all right? Hold on. There we go. I'm weird about this. I need this to match up. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. We've got the sinister porpoise. What's up? Big zebra. Big zebra's here. Tesla Ranger. Never again. Yeah, there was supposed to be sound on that. And then I flubbed the sound by not putting the output sound correct like that. It was a setting, a single setting. And I have a story about that today. So, yes. Hello, Cassandra. How are you? How are you? Brian Harris, what's up? Harmonica Man, what's going on? What's going on? Coffee strong enough for an Amazon. Yes. Speaking of Amazons, I figure like Lucy Lawless is back in the news. It's awesome. Hello, Cadence. So I don't have a particularly planned topic. I thought we could just have a chat. If you have questions for me, you can ask me questions while I'm hanging out here. So it's been a pretty interesting week for me. I'm cooking biscuits and gravy, but I'll listen in the background for a while, says Harmonica Man. Biscuits and gravy. That's awesome. Sinister porpoise. Coffee sucks and violates words of wisdom. Does it? I don't know. I like to have coffee. I feel like it turns the light switch on my brain, turns it on, and then I can handle that. So Cadence has pizza in a couple of hours. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to modify what, my nutrition intake. Because I'm pretty certain I've gained 30 pounds. So I want to lose that 30 pounds as soon as possible. So I'm going to do that. I can't, and the thing is I'm not a person that can lose 10 pounds in a week. I'm not one of those people. I'm the person that loses 1 to 2 pounds a week, and I'm hungry all the time. So it's just kind of, plant babies. Cadence has plant babies coming. That's cool. 30 pounds of glory. NASA's going to start investigating the expansion of my rear end, as it probably coincides with its, the expansion of my rear end in the universe. Or, maybe there's a correlation between extended pandemic times and the expansion of my backside. Thinking that might be probably linked there. Staying home all the time. Fortunately, I've not gotten the Rona. I've been doing lots of staying at home. The expansion of Mel's moon. That's right. That would be the name of the paper if NASA was investigating the expansion of my backside. The expansion of Mel's moon. Hello, Wayne. Hello, Stuttering Chris. How y'all doing? Oh my goodness. I know coffee chat is the format. However, will we ever get a science of coffee and caffeine, caffeine's effect on the human mind and brain? I can do that. See, I appreciate topic suggestions because if you look at my channel, I've covered so many topics and I've gone back and discussed the latest science on a particular topic I have covered before. What I think I'm going to do is make a new channel just for short videos. This would be a live stream channel, and then I would have a separate channel just for short videos. So I think that will be good to where I can just have like little 10, 15-minute videos for people to watch there, little snippets. So that way I got those bases covered. And maybe I'll start posting those on Facebook as well. What do you think about the CDC's guidelines for reopening schools? Well, I will have to pull those up. Let me see. CDC guideline for reopening schools. Let me see. So it came out, all right, February. So this came out yesterday. So I'm having a look here. This is on the NPR website. Coronavirus. 7-minute listen. Okay. Well, I don't necessarily want to listen. Okay. Color-coded zones. You got blue, yellow, orange, and red. Districts with low community spread of the coronavirus. Blue, that means 0 to 9 new cases per 100,000 in past 7 days. Moderate, yellow, which is 10 to 49 new cases, are encouraged to consider reopening for full in-person learning. Schools in areas with substantial transmission, orange, 50 to 99 new cases per 100,000, may still consider a limited reopening as long as they can layer multiple safety strategies in the classroom. In hard-hit communities, red, more than 100 new cases per 100,000. Elementary schools may consider limited reopening with physical distancing required, but the CDC recommends middle and high schoolers be virtual only unless mitigation strategies can be met. Okay. And so I'm going to put this in the chat here so you guys can kind of follow along. Let's see. So this is what I pulled up, other than this giant ad over here. So phased mitigation. I know that there are some states that are trying to force counties to open their schools. They're trying to force particular counties within their state to open. Oh, gosh. I don't know. Evidence suggests that many K through 12 schools that have strictly implemented mitigation strategies have been able to safely open for in-person instruction and remain open. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm just going to throw this out there. I am so glad that I don't teach public school anymore because of this pandemic. Teachers already have such a demanding job. I mean, you have, and now you add, when you're looking at elementary school, you already have to clean so much stuff already. So you're already doing the sanitizing thing, but you also have to consider the stress and the strain that this puts on teachers. There's no real emotional support or real support from another adult, teacher's aides and things like that. Even in a lot of high schools, you really need teacher's aides in middle school and high schools, and there's just no funding for that. There's no help. Um, I am so glad I don't teach public school right now, particularly with the pandemic going on. I would not want to return back to work. And in the area that I live in, people are so anti-mask. My neighbor still has a Trump flag up, like legit. And it's kind of interesting the way that it's hanging. It's hanging by a corner of the flag. It's like a rectangular flag that's like a banner that's supposed to be hung up and down. It's just hanging by a corner, by a thread. And I'm like, this is kind of poetic. It's just, a little bit. He's still got the Trump flag there, but it's hanging by a thread. So we have a lot of anti-maskers out here. We have a lot of people who just do not think that this virus is a big deal. So basing it on transmission, yeah, that's good. It's good that they're basing it on transmission, but I just do not agree with opening up the schools right now, because a lot of states will not implement good strategies, particularly where I live. They won't do it. They won't do it. So I'm very leery of it. I think it's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea. So Big Zebra says, if you open those schools right away, we should be able to get those COVID numbers back up to Trumpian levels. Yeah, probably. Teacher vaccination guidelines are part of it. Well, that's good, but vaccination, I mean, you don't have a full strong immune response after your first shot. You have to have a second one too, and then it takes a few more weeks, right? So I would still, even if I got my initial vaccination, I would still not want to teach until after I felt I had a strong immune response. So the transmission rates are lower in schools because of enforced mask wearing. Yes, that's true. But the thing is, having worked as a teacher, school districts will not necessarily follow those guidelines. That's the problem. The CDC guidelines say states can decide to prioritize teachers even though they recommend it. Okay, I don't understand what you're saying there. Hello, Animal Science TV. How are you? So, don't understand what you're trying to say. Even though they recommend it to okay, I don't understand what maybe my brain's not working right yet. But let me just say that I worked for a school district where one middle school, I don't have time to read the article in the middle of a live stream, Sinister Porpoise. So, but if they're not telling states they want to reopen schools to put teachers on the prioritized list. Oh, you want to know about, and so let's see. Let me pull up. Somebody asked for the science doggo. Nina is hanging out. She's doing all right. She's doing all right. Sorry. You only have 200 characters. Well, I mean, that's fair, Sinister Porpoise. I still don't agree with reopening schools until we have a solid herd immunity. I don't recommend it. Looks like a discarded wig. Nina's like a Pokemon. Little Nina's like a Pokemon. She's just all balled up. I think if we had a true lockdown across the country for about a month and a half or 2 months, a true lockdown, and people got vaccinated during that time, a true lockdown, not what we've been doing. This is terrible. Okay, and states like the one I live in are deliberately not putting teachers on the priority list. I see. Okay. So that's what you're saying. So I'm just so glad I don't teach in public school right now. I enjoyed teaching, and I still enjoy teaching. I teach college chemistry now, but the college is like, we have online classes and we navigate all of the challenges associated with that. We're not about to reopen classes. And if we have to have classes, they are really small in number, huge social distancing, limited time within the building. When people come to the college, they have to fill out a health assessment before they come, asking if they have fever, cold, any of that. So after they fill out the health assessment, then they get to the college. Then they have to sign in. They have to get their temperature read, make certain they don't have a fever. And then they're allowed to enter the building, and they have to have a mask. And if they don't have a mask, they're provided with one of the surgical masks. That's what, so if we have lecture or lab, and I've chosen not to do that. And so lab has been very, very challenging in the collegiate world. But we're doing the best we can. And it's really hard to do it in chemistry because a lot of the stuff that they do require partners, and you can't socially distance. So we're doing demonstrations. I've got some simulations. I'm going through really heavy questioning of my students and stuff. Hey, Mr. Shadow Kitty. Hey, PZ Myers. What's up, man? I was just talking about you to my dean, PZ. I was just talking about you. I mentioned you to my dean yesterday in an email. So were your ears burning? It's pretty interesting. But it's just, I am so glad I don't teach public school. I'm so glad I don't teach public school. My brain kind of. So yesterday, speaking of yesterday, at least with chemistry students, you can expect them to understand the germ theory of disease and viruses. So yes, this is pretty interesting. I'm the one who turned you in, Paisley. I'm sorry. Did they finally find the bodies? I couldn't lie anymore, man. I couldn't lie. I'm just kidding. So how you came about in my conversation with the dean, PZ, yesterday I hosted a college-wide seminar. It was a webinar kind of setup with my friend Doc Savage, who is a world-renowned immunologist, actually. And this is the second time he's given a talk at my school, talking about COVID-19 vaccine generation, development, that sort of thing, pandemic response. So yesterday, I get to run it off my computer. And so the last time we had him this was the first time my college had done this. It was across 4 campuses. And he did a video. We used Google Hangouts at the time because they weren't up to speed on the tech. So I pulled him in and then set up a Google Hangout call among 4 campuses in 4 different lecture halls. And it was a Q&A session. It was awesome. And so we did another one of those yesterday through Zoom, and I recorded it with all of my bells and whistles that I have here. And apparently the dean didn't realize that I have a setup. And so, but my direct boss, the chair knows that I do science communication. And so when the dean emailed, he's like, do you do a science, a radio show or something? And so I went through my spiel, and I'm like, and I've had PC Myers on my channel before, and I listed people that have been on. And he's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this answer. He's like, I'm glad you're here. I'm like, well, that was really nice. Where I worked, they're very supportive. And it was really cool. So that's how you came up in conversation when I was talking about you. You should really come back on my channel, PC. We have fun. Catching up on the chat. Let's see. Yeah, and I've been on Pelagia. I have been on Pelagia's channel before. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Okay. So that was cool. Now, get this. So when I was recording on OBS, I had one setting off on my sound. So my sound, everybody on the Zoom call could hear it, but OBS didn't record it. So I've got my Zoom. The Zoom call was recorded with full sound and everything. Some of the bells and whistles were there, but it really wanted like a clean video, like you see with here through OBS, but it just didn't get my sound. So I'm debating if whether I want to pull the sound off of the Zoom call and make it nice, clean edit, or just use the recording from Zoom. I don't know. That's what I'm debating right now. Let's see. Animal Science TV says, do you get a bunch of hate comments from creationists? I have some MIT chemistry PH guy emailing me about how I'm not qualified to talk abiogenesis. He plays his PhD like he's authority. Is the MIT chemistry PH guy a creationist? I'm not understanding the question. You can have a PhD in chemistry. I mean, what's his research? I mean, yeah, you can talk about anything that you want. Oh gosh, you can talk about anything you want. I talk about anything I want, but I refer to experts. I pull their information, go, here are what the experts say. And I'm going, okay, this is what the experts say. This is what what I do is I take what the experts say and I break it down. So to more accessible language. He has books on abiogenesis is too complicated to have happened by natural means. No, I kind of disagree with that. So, hey, Danny Spitz, how are you? So I disagree with that. If you're looking at the lowest energy conformations of various molecules and how they interact with each other, it's not really terribly that complicated. Molecules like to form in specific shapes in their lowest energy conformation. And we know that atoms, certain, elements will bond a certain number of times, and you add a little heat where there's some elements around, you get certain compounds. So over time, now a long period of time, these atoms will come together and start to form bonds, and they'll interact with each other. And the interactions that are useful, they stick around. The ones that do stuff stick around. The ones that don't really do anything just, do not keep going. I mean, it's just I am taking a concept and trying to break it down to a bit more simpler terms. PZ, he's wanting a name drop. What's his name? If he's leaving public comments on your channel, you can direct people, I mean, if it's a public thing, it's not like you'd be doxing the guy if he has a name that's on there. Yeah, I mean, they've already had some experiments to show with Titan, even some of that atmosphere. They've been able to replicate a little bit of that atmosphere and show the beginnings and formations of molecules that look similar, I believe, to amino acids. I believe that's what that was. Okay. As Ben Shapiro teaches us, having a degree doesn't make you intelligent. No, it doesn't. Some of the most educated people I know are bigoted and not very smart. There's different levels. There's different types of intelligence too. So we got to keep that in mind. There's different types of intelligence. Mr. Rogers may not have been a scientist, but he was freaking brilliant when it came to interacting with people and trying to understand on a psychological level. But I wouldn't expect him to be able to solve cold fusion, but we have different types of intelligence. Ben Shapiro writes, brainwashed in 2004. How universities indoctrinate America's youth. 2007, Ben Shapiro graduates summa cum laude from Harvard Law School. I don't know. I don't particularly have issues with creationists. They don't really give me hate comments. So because I don't really go there. I do talk about evolution. I do talk about origins. I used to have to teach that when I taught high school, and having to teach high school to a bunch of farm kids in the Bible Belt who were already primed to fight you over evolution. It's like it's really important just to address the elephant in the room and go, it's okay for you to believe that if you want. I'm not going to make you, I'm not going to tell you what to think. I want to teach you how to think. Here's the evidence. Here's the information. I just want you to understand what the words mean and what the evidence is. So to come about it in a very non-threatening way has been the way that I've discussed evolution. And that's customarily what I tend to do with the general public. If somebody's just mean tweeting me or I just like block, move on. Do not want. So well, I mean, it's just, if you want to talk about origins of life, if you want to get like finding something that, that we could see early stages of life, Graham Lau, he's a cosmobiologist on Twitter. He's been on my channel before. And his whole job is to look for life in whatever form and the potential for life on other planets. And he's like a NASA person and he's really cool. And so he's a really good person you could reach out to on Twitter. I think he's done TED Talks and he goes around and he travels. He lives in Colorado, I believe. Um, and he's one of the communicators at the museum there. So you can reach out to him and see, hey, could you help me with a thing? Hello, little wizard. How you doing? But I really like cosmobiologist Dr. Graham Lau. Lau is his last name. Yeah, just, if somebody's going, "Oh, well, you can't possibly know evolution and you can't speak on it because you don't have a degree in chemistry." Ho, 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 ho. No, that's crap. That's such crap. Do not take said crap from anyone. Anybody can have a working understanding of evolution, a working understanding of the origin of life, that sort of thing, if you can just read. so, um, so it's just like, just freaking read. And if you don't understand the terminology, that's okay. You can reach out to a science communicator, and say, hey, what is this stuff? But the whole, you can't speak about abiogenesis and you can't speak about evolution. Ho, ho, ho. I am smarter than you. It's just like, I feel like there should be a whole Monty Python film about science illiteracy and what it looks like. Can we do a Monty Python film making fun of just horrible people who do stuff like that? Hello, Syed. How are you? I miss Bill Ludlow too. My channel was one of the last channels he appeared on before he passed away. And that was when I was doing Oral Audacity with Doc. And I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to have him on my channel. And it's sad that he's gone. Biology and chemistry are not the same thing, but they're linked. Honestly, you cannot get a biology degree unless you've had about 2 years of chemistry, I believe, is like, because you got organic, you got a year of organic, you got a year of chemistry, general chemistry. So you take so much chemistry, at least where I went and got my undergrad, because I got an undergrad in biology and I also got an undergrad in biochem. Because I got the undergrad in biochem because I was literally like 3 classes away from a chemistry degree. So I technically did a double major in science. So biology and biochem, picked up the biochem a bit later. That was after I got my first master's. I'm like, you know what? I like science. I'm going to pick up a chemistry undergrad. Why not? It's fun. So I did that. And then I got into graduate program for chemistry. Got my second master's. I might do a PhD, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't want that stress in the middle of a pandemic. So I'm going to think about it. Because where I'm at right now, they would pay for my education, which is awesome. So I'm a think about it. I'll think about it. I do have a good chemistry understanding. I worked with Craig Venter and Ham Smith for 6 years as a research associate and analytical chemist using the mass spec, but I didn't want to tell him that. That's just, it's frustrating. It's frustrating that you have to qualify yourself to somebody and say, well, yeah, now I actually know what I'm talking about. But hey, you do you, boo, It is pretty frustrating with that. So want some privacy. I got undergrad in bioanalytical chemistry, but chemistry has the jobs. That's true. Do you want the doctor title? That would be cool. It'd be cool to be called Dr. Mel, but I can, but I don't know what doctorate I'd want to pursue. I've thought about maybe doing science education and the post-secondary level, like base it in college education, but directed at effective science instruction and engagement and stuff. Because, come on. I've already got so much graduate level coursework. All I would really need to do is the research, and I could just do research at my institution, on science education. Monty Python's Way of Science hypothesis. If a person weighs as much as a duck, they are a witch. Do you think half the people do the doctor degree for the status? I don't know. Maybe. I think it's an accomplishment. It's something that's cool to have. It certainly opens up opportunities for you. But there are also a lot of people with PhDs who are homeless and don't have jobs. So it is possible to overqualify yourself. Being a woman, I have to overqualify myself in order to get a job. So it's kind of one of those. And that question was from Animal Science TV. So, one of the things that I was trying to do, particularly with my education, was overqualify myself so I could get a job because I'm a woman. I mean, there was a new study that just came out that showed that women who are exceptional students still are only offered opportunities as to the men who fail their classes. So men who have incredibly low GPAs and women who have incredibly high GPAs are given the same type of job. So women have to overqualify themselves in order to get a job that a dude could get with terrible grades. So as a woman, the more qualifications you have, I mean, and also you could look at the example with President Obama, former President Obama. Look at all the qualifications he had to have in order to just get into office. And even then, he still had so much pushback based on his name and the color of his skin. And then you look at somebody like Donald Trump, who, I mean, do we even need to comment at this point? It's just, it's just, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Hey, B, not just B. Hey, I'm so glad you'd stop by, showing some love. What's going on? Very small rocks. Creationists do, no one else. I don't know what that was in response to, Peasy. I'm behind. I'm catching up on the chat. I noticed that my online women friends have it much more together than my male online friends. My women friends are scientists, whereas the males are not. I don't know. Really, that almost makes me want to get a job, says Harmonica Man. Oh, goodness. The only reasonable bias would be that a woman might go on maternity leave. 7.4% of clothes are female. Clothes are female. I don't know. That's even maternity leave. That doesn't matter, And they also, within the same study. Okay, let me just pull this up. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see this. I want to pull this up for you. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Women given lower leadership roles. Good grades study. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. 2021. Let me see if I can find this study. Where is it? It just came out. All right. Let me find one more place for it. And then I'll show it to you. The science of women's clothing sizes. Oh my God. It's terrible. It is terrible. I know I've gained 30 pounds and I used to wear like a small medium and now I wear like a medium large. I could probably wear an extra large in some things or even a 2X. I could, according to t-shirt sizes, when I was at my smallest, when I was like a size 8, 7, 8, according to if I measured myself for t-shirts, I would need a 2XL. Okay. I mean, today, 7.4% of CEOs are female. It's terrible. Or women, right? It just stinks. Okay. Let me see if I can find this study really quickly. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I can. I think I posted it on one of my social media things. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm looking. Ugh. I found out recently that one of my tweets was put in a Business Insider article. I thought that was pretty cool. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I only exercised one day this week. Now that I'm thinking about it, that kind of stinks. But oh well, I can't seem to find it. I can't seem to find it now, which kind of stinks, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm still not finding it. Oh well. It's all right. No big deal. Crap. All right. I can't find it. No big deal. Okay. Oh boy. So many scientists here. Yeah. It's cool, huh? Hello, Steve Bauman. What's going on? You still look gorgeous to me, Scientist Mel. Once again, not a stalker. Well, thank you. I feel like my face is bigger. So I feel like there's, you know, I'll get back to where I was. It's just being stuck at home all the time is just not, it's not conducive for my mental health. And it's also not a huge motivator to exercise. Even though I've converted half my kitchen into a gym, I did start exercising this week. I tried one day, um, and it worked. It worked fine. I felt great afterwards. Um, but I'm trying to get back. I need to do it like 3 days a week at least, and then move up to 5. Just be as a stalker, male stalker. Oh my goodness. I'm enjoying the 10 depth of snow. The only downside is I can't do field geology. Should I bow 10 feet? Not deaf. 10 feet of snow is deaf, man. You know, like Def Jams back in the day. Def Jams. Should I bow out? What are you bowing out of? I don't know what you're about. I once found out the FLDS website used me as a source. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that website. Y'all got to remember, sometimes I feel like I live in a hole. A gym in the kitchen. Try eating a bowl of hot soup while on the treadmill. Ugh, never again. Yeah, you don't want to go running on the treadmill. I got a new little stationary bike on Amazon. It was like $200. It folds up and goes in a corner. So I now have I'm collecting exercise equipment that I can put stuff on, I guess. I have a row machine. I have a treadmill. I have a little mini stepper. I have a little mini elliptical. I've got some weights. I've sectioned off a part of because I have tile floors in the kitchen. So I've got like mat down, so it's nice and soft, and so I've got like free weights so I can do stuff. And I set it all out. So all I have to do is walk in there and just do it. Like Nike, just do it. And then I'm like, but I'm so tired. Ah, um, hey Gage, how are you doing? Um, like a rowboat workout? Yes. So it's like if you were rowing, and so you slide, you're on a seat that slides forward and backwards, and then you've got like handlebars that you can pull and you can row, and you can adjust the resistance. So I have mine on full resistance, and I like that because it's like good upper body workout. And then if you just hold onto the bar and you use your legs and you're working legs too, it's really nice. I like it. It's cool. It's cool. Um, we get ice where I live. We don't get snow. We just get ice. I quit smoking cigarettes and got fatter. The world stinks. You're still putting stuff in your mouth, man. That's what that is. It's okay. Keep food and exercise separate. Well, if every time I go into the kitchen, I got to look at I got to look at the workout stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I've got to go over here and I've got to exercise. So I see it every single time. So it helps me stay keeping it in my mind until I feel like, okay, I can do this. The best weight loss the best weight loss move was flying to Seattle without my credit cards and just enough money to buy a bicycle, cash. Had to get back to San Diego no matter what. Lost a lot of weight. I bet if you had to ride a bike all the way back. Oh my goodness. Hang a foot-long Italian sub from a fishing line in front of the treadmill. That helps. I bet it does. I bet it helps a lot. I like the rowing machine because it's really cool because you can go on YouTube and just put up like a video of what it looks like in the water. And I have a TV in my kitchen too. So there's like literally no excuse at all for me to not be walking on the treadmill, watching a movie or something. It's like I've set it all up for the optimal exercise experience. And so there's no excuse other than I'm just freaking drained and tired. So see you later. Be not just be, no just be. I want to call you not just be, but that's not right. That's okay. That's okay. Let's check on Neen. She's still sleeping. She's just hanging out. Just hanging out. What? Wrong one. There we go. Y'all don't want to see my desktop. That's where I put the other thing. I'm not sure quitting was the healthier move anymore. Quitting smoking. Is it more healthy to be fat or a smoker? I think if I had to pick, probably being overweight is better than smoking because smoking is linked to so many other things. Overweight, I mean, it's kind of relative. I mean, sure, issues with joints or, there's some other, possible diabetes depending on your genetics. If you understand your family history, um, you could kind of make that assessment for yourself with also talking to your doctor's going to say, don't be either. But I think, overweight is something that you can work on steadily. You can still be healthy and be overweight. And so it's really between you and your doctor, but I think smoking does more damage, particularly with healing. It restricts the healing process. It can have issues with your immunity. There's lots of things that smoking does holistically to your body that can be very problematic, more so than just being overweight. Yes. Sweet little Nina hanging out. Use cadence or singing of some sort with a defines 1, 2, 3, 4 rhythm. You will do so much more than you thought you could. Oh, you mean like with running? With running? Yeah. So I had like a soundtrack that I would use when I would be like walking or running. I would have to keep the beat of it, which that helps a lot. My problem is I can maintain a really high heart rate. Don't use me. I'm useless, says Cadence. So, I mean, I can keep a pretty high heart rate, and I can easily hit 175, 180 beats per minute, and it's like I'm doing okay. And then when I bring it back down, it's like I need to do more of raise that heart rate and let it drop. But the sustained super high heart rate thing is probably not going to help me as much as like actual intervals. So I'm trying to do more actual intervals instead of just having like, oh my goodness. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I think, being overweight is better. Not just running most exercises. Well, I mean, so I have a soundtrack that I listen to when I exercise, and it's mostly just ragey, angry music. So it's like Korn and Linkin Park, just all kinds of angry, My Chemical Romance. I think I have DMX in there. So let me see. Foo Fighters. They're not really ragey. They're not really ragey at all. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of Korn, a lot of Alice in Chains, Henry Rollins Band, Rage Against the Machine, 9 Inch Nails, the soundtrack from The Matrix. What else I got? I have a Marilyn Manson song on here, but I'm kind of mad at him right now. So Filter, Breaking Benjamin, Incubus with Megalomaniac. So that's what I work out to. I work out to really angry, loud music. I love Rage Against the Machine. I don't have Pink on there. If I want to go back to like dance music, I probably would have Pink and stuff like that. Oh boy. Yes. What I say about I love the Foo Fighters. I've yet to see them in concert. Thank you for the super chat. How's teaching going? Says Stephen Bauman. I need to put my little thing on here when the super chat pops up. I need to get that. Thank you for that. It's going really well. Except for a few online weird stuff that's happening with our digital content through one of the textbook sites that we use. And some of my students are like, I can't see the assignment. So I have to go through and manually remove all of the assignments and put them back in. So that's the only complaint right now. But I think I'm going to reach out soon to one of a professor that was on my committee when I got my master's and I had to defend, and see if he would be willing to, at another school, and see if he'd be willing to help me do research for open education resources. I think that might be cool. Because I already have a background in education research, and I know he's been published in education research. So it might be cool for us to collaborate, and I could pick his brain on implementing OER and that sort of thing, and see if I can develop an online education resource through, and I'm already going to do that with my channel anyway. I'm going to make a new channel just for open education resources associated with science content. I'm going to spearhead the chemistry. PZ Myers agreed a while ago to help me over the summer to do the biology content. And so the whole purpose of that project is to have qualified individuals on a collegiate level to be able to provide content that anybody can use. And they might use in universities associated with readily available free textbooks online. So that's kind of that's a goal for me for teaching. And you can go through, I ordered a print copy of it, OpenStax. So I'll be working and trying to do the general chemistry, a year's worth of general chemistry for OpenStax.org. With chemistry, atoms first. Pretty decent textbook, but But I mean, they have like good problems in there and stuff like that. So we'll have a look at that. Hello, Dinah Cat loves me. Walking 45 minutes brisk with 30-second jogging intervals. Don't turn into a marathon runner. It can kill you. I used to be able to run like a 5K, 3 miles just straight. Probably about, oh God, it's been 4 years now. 4 years ago, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, I was in my last 5K run for St. Jude. Well, no, it wasn't. That was one of the first fundraisers I did in my science communication work. Was that for St. Jude. I went to Memphis and I ran there for like their 5K, which was kind of cool. Ran the whole time. It's 3 miles. I can't do that now. So that's a pain. I personally think the Highlander soundtrack is good for workouts, says the Sinister Porpoise. Really? Okay. Animal Science TV says, Mel, I have 2 real questions for you. Do the current vaccines work against the new mutations? And 2, my sister did 23andMe. Can the police collect my DNA and know her sister did the murder? Okay. So, first question. I can answer the first question because Doc, yesterday at my college, the Q&A session that he did, actually got this question and he answered it again. So I'm defaulting to experts and what they have to say, because that's what you're supposed to do. So yes, it should work with the new variants. Effectiveness could dwindle over time, but the type of protein that the vaccine is based on, it's what we call a conserved protein. That protein is really important for the virus to enter into our cells. And it's not likely to change because of how effective it is on entering cells. And it's that receptors on every just about every cell in your body. There's more systems that have that in your body that have that cell that than don't. Let's say that. So it's not likely that the virus will change that protein. So it should work, but over time we could see if a virus is allowed to change a whole lot and mutate a whole lot, then it could affect. Then they would have to like tweak the vaccine a bit, but that's not a big deal. Now that we have now that we're actively using mRNA vaccines, it's pretty straightforward process of just basically reverse engineering and figure out what the new proteins are, and then you tweak your vaccine based on that. So it's not likely. Let's see. So as far as the 23andMe, I'm not certain, but if they got a warrant, they probably could. But you can ask 23andMe to not keep your data, and ask them to destroy it. I think is that as long as she opted out of having them store her data, I think they would not keep it. So let's see. Or your brother. Yes, sorry. Any resources for algebra, trigonometry, calculus, refreshers for the first, introductory for the second? Okay, so resources. Let's talk about resources. What would be good resources for you? Let's see. Let me close these tabs. What are good resources for math? I like, well, first of all, Khan Academy is amazing. Khan Academy is amazing, but I also like phet.colorado.edu. Sometimes I spell Colorado wrong, guys. I know, and here I am teaching chemistry, and I can't spell Colorado sometimes. So if you go to, let's see, phet.colorado.edu, they have math resources here, and they're simulations. They're pretty fun. And they have varying degrees of difficulty for these, all the way up through undergraduates. So it's function builder basics, graphing quadratics, graphing slope intercept. I really like this. They have so many different topics. They've got physics, chemistry, earth science, biology. It's a lot of fun. And I often use a lot of these simulations anyway when I'm giving a lecture, a college lecture. I mean, we want to click on chemistry and add that, I'm going to take the math off. And Flash isn't supported anymore. So Flash isn't supported anymore, but you can download a lot of these. But yeah, so I incorporate a lot of their simulations anyway into my lectures and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Give that a go. And then I do like Khan Academy for that sort of thing. Let me see. Less than 3 weeks of daily exercise, back pain has almost gone away. I don't huff and puff from tying my shoes, and stress levels tanked. If you want to exercise, walking is simply simple, but works. Yep. Thank you for the super chat, Brian Harris, $10. Scientist Mel, your working out soundtrack is pretty much my personal soundtrack at work during closing, but mine including Slipknot, Five Finger Death Punch, and Body Count. There you go. I actually, I don't think, no, I saw Mudvayne in person, not Slipknot. Mudvayne toured with Exhibit, Blindside, and Linkin Park. So Linkin Park went on tour with 3 other bands a while ago, and I saw Mudvayne in person. They were pretty good. Ooh, Harmonica Man has a show. That's cool. Dinah Cat Loves Me says, Scientist Mel, we are being called science deniers because we still don't want to fully open schools. I don't actually consider those studies to be science, and the UK variant wasn't here. You, I get, it's funny. One of my favorite pastimes now is going onto my local news channel live stream and just reading the comments, whether it's the impeachment process or something else. Oh my goodness. So whether it's the impeachment process or something else, and I read the comments just to see how bad it is where I live, and it's pretty bad. People are diving headfirst into the QAnon Kool-Aid, and you're like, man, why you do that? Why you do that? Let's see. Y equals mx plus b. Believe it or not, you use a lot of linear algebra in chemistry. You use particularly when you're dealing with standard curves and concentrations. Yep. Yeah, Trump did real damage to the CDC and the NIH. And NIH and CDC work together. Seeing Dr. Fauci smile, seeing him smile, and be like, it's like, I can do my job now. I have a Fauci crush. Now. I think he's like in his 80s. And I'm like, oh, look at him. He's smiling. He's so happy and he's doing his job. I'm like, oh, it makes my heart pitter patter. And I'm like, okay, well, that's enough. Oh, God. That's the problem that we have with science illiteracy. And that's part of the reason. Well, actually, that's the main reason I got into science communication is for that. Man, Telegram, oh gosh. I don't even want to know. I never had a Parler account. I considered it because I was like, I really kind of want to see what's going on there, but I'm glad I didn't because I can't imagine what that's like. I'm like, I don't want any association with a thing like that. That's a bad thing to have an association with. It's like, that could be career killing. Oh, I was on Parler. Why were you on Parler? Or the people who were taking selfies outside of the Capitol. They may not have been involved in the insurrection, but people just standing there smiling and taking selfies outside the Capitol while that's going on are being called into question. Were you a part of that? They're like, hey, look, there's an insurrection happening. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, how's Nina doing? Let's see. Well, she's still curled up in a ball, doing her thing. Man. Sinister Porpoise says, Scientist Mel, it's not for science educators or scientists to fix. The problem is primarily caused by the technologists. As far as what, Parler and that sort of thing? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Your brother was there videotaping with his cell phone. Mm. See, if I was there and I wanted to document, I would live stream saying how none of this is okay. I don't support this, but I'm recording this. So we have evidence. You know what I mean? And then I would have shared it with the FBI or on the whatever. I would have, but there you go. Ah, this is so upsetting. I actually had to stop watching the impeachment trial because it was upsetting me. The footage that they were showing and the 911 calls, and I'm just like, I can't watch this today. So um and I often talk about cognitive biases here. And there's a bias for that. It's called the ostrich bias, where you bury your head in the sand to avoid negative news. And that's a thing, but it's important to stay updated on bad news. It's important because you need to process that and work towards a solution and that sort of thing. But it's also okay to turn it off and take a minute going, nope, can't do this today. But you can return back to it. You don't have to just disconnect and never reconnect again unless it's truly affecting your health. Um, and you can have news delivered in different ways to where it's not so harmful. It's okay, harmonica man. Oh my goodness. So yesterday was a pretty weird day. No, it was a good day, but the setting was off on OBS and that made me mad. And I wasn't certain that Zoom recorded the call, and it turns out they did. So that was fixed. And then I play I play a game, a war game on my phone. And one of the members of my alliance passed away from COVID-19. One of their family members got on the account and was telling us about it. And that she was just a kid. She was like 16, 17 years old. She's just a kid. Um, and it's upsetting. And people are like, oh, well, just 1 to 2%. 1 to 2% pass away. It's not that big of a deal. But what if somebody is the 1 to 2%, you know? And those numbers increase depending on demographic and age, right? So please just freaking wear a mask, wear a freaking mask. Double up. They're finding if you double up, um, it reduces your risk of not only transmitting, but also getting infected. Um, Double up on masks. I bought me a whole bunch of K94s. It's like K94s. I got them off of Amazon. Throw on one of those with a cloth mask on top, and the cloth mask is like exercise material, so it wicks away moisture. Um, and that's what you want to do. You want to wick away moisture from others and yourself. Um, so it's just at a point to where we've just got to look out for each other. Woo. Brian Harris says, I have a hard time watching the impeachment trial simply because of the Trump supporting Republicans acting like they've got their heads buried in the sand or up somewhere else. um, it's it's disconcerting that so many of the GOP would support a person who has done the things that he has done. It's not surprising to me, because it's it's just not surprising to me that they're doing that. I want to know what's he got on him, because this seems like this is a what's he got on him situation. Hang on a sec. My allergies are freaking wonky, so I'm very sorry for that. Uh, so it's disconcerting, but it's not surprising to me. And you would think at some point they would go, okay, like where's the limit? Where's the line for these people? That's what I want to know. Where's the line? And I wonder if they're being threatened, like, bodily harm threatened, as well as reputation threatened and that sort of thing from the Trump camp, because that's what he does. He looks to ruin people financially, reputation wise. That's his MO. So we already know some of Lindsey Graham's dirt, but what else has he got on Lindsey? Lil Wizard Bro says it doesn't matter if they acquit Trump. He's facing serious charges in several states, including my state, for his call to our Secretary of State. He's done politically. Yes, he is facing serious charges, and he has loans coming due to different countries. So this is going to be interesting. Live updates. In a surprise move, Senate votes to call witnesses in Trump's impeachment trial. They should. I hear that shaman dude is in jail is going to talk about it. That would be good. It is still sickening, Brian. You're right. It's not surprising, but sickening. There is no line. They get money and their elections paid for by their corporate friends. Come to find out, I saw an article where Trump had funneled campaign funds into his business. And you're like, hey, whatever. Y'all, they gave somebody who's supposed to have money and be rich more money for some reason. Oh my goodness. The funny thing is Trump is still popular in this state despite his supporters threatening to kill our former governor, says the sinister porpoise. Isn't that weird? I think all the Trump flags and all the Trump stuff have been removed out of my town. Most of them, particularly at people's houses, except for my neighbor. And again, that flag is just hanging by a corner. I really want to pull a Captain Von Trapp and go over there and rip it down and tear it up right on his porch. You know what I mean? And we lost Captain Von Trapp recently. Christopher Plummer. I love him. Oh my God, I loved him. Edelweiss, when he sings Edelweiss, and it just breaks his heart while he's singing. You're just like, Captain Von Trapp. But I want to pull that move, man. I want to go over to my neighbor's house, and I won't, because that's against the law. Let's be clear there. I'm not actually going to do that, but there you go. Hang on. Allergies. Isn't it great? It's like we're trying to be spring here, but we're not. Where I live, it's like spring, winter, spring, winter, spring, winter. It's like they fight. I think spring and winter are kind of like, Mortal Kombat type of video game situation, but they're evenly matched. And so it's like, or, you could think Dragon Ball Z with Vegeta. I think it was Vegeta. No, Frieza. Was it Vegeta or Frieza? I think it was Frieza. It was Frieza and Goku had a fight on 4 or 5 planets. And there were probably 30 episodes about it. And I've just completely checked out at that point. So there you go. Let me see. You have Trump flags everywhere you go in your county. I'm sorry, Harmonica Man. That feels weird, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. America is divided. Not half of Americans. Now, I disagree that half of Americans are anti-science idiots. I disagree with that. We have data. So if you want to check out what's going on with America, you can look up National NSF, National Science Foundation, science indicators. Science indicators. All righty. And you can see it's just, okay, so this is 2020. So I'm going to put this in the side chat. This is what I go to when I'm trying to find out where we're at and perceptions of science. And so they run a study every few years. Higher education. I'm trying to find about S&E, explore, browse topics. So you can look at this. Here we go. You can check this out. This is you can browse topics. Education. They go through public attitudes on science and technology. So here we go. So you can check this out and have a look and see Americans' perceptions about science. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so here we are, 2018. Hold on. So we've got 4 indicators here. Agree that science generates opportunities for the next generation. Agree that science makes life change too fast. Agree that the government should fund basic scientific research. Have a great deal of confidence in the scientific community. Okay. So you might be right there. All right. So you actually have a point. It's gotten worse. We have, as of 2018, 44% with a particular view of science. So about 50, it's worse than half of Americans. It's 56% do not have a great deal of confidence in the scientific community. But we were at 37% in 2002. This is up, though, from 40% in 2016, 41, 41, 40. So you got a point there, Animal Science TV. You're pretty much spot on that. So I was wrong, guys. Hey, check this out. I can say that I was wrong and not get my feelings hurt. We need to do more of that. So yes, there you go, guys. And you can check out the science indicators for that. But I mean, agree science generates opportunities for the next generation. So they agree with that. And they also agree that the government should fund basic science research. So 49%, about half, think science makes life change too fast. Not certain what that means, but there you go. So you can check out this information and see science as far as their perceptions. I want to know. I want to know the understanding, public understanding. That's the one that I'm usually. Here we go. This is fun. Evolution and the Big Bang. Let's click on this one. How did we do on this? Understanding of scientific study. 24% understand scientific study. 43% understand inquiry overall. 49% understand and have an understanding of experiment. And 65% understand probability. So there's that, which is better. But these are the trends that we have. Correct answers for the scientific process. Pseudoscience. Another indicator of public understanding is about pseudoscience. More Americans today than in the past see astrology as unscientific, although there has been some variation in recent years. In 2018, about 58% of Americans said astrology was not at all scientific, a value near the middle of the historical range and down somewhat from 65% in 2014. So let's go to this table. Astrology. So, I mean, they break it down all the way through the years from 1979. So this is where I go to get my understanding. Essentially, this is where I go to get my understanding of where the U.S. is in understanding science and what it can do. So there you go for that. Spot on there, Animal Science TV. Let me catch up on the chat. Oh, goodness. The problem is people think Google searches are unbiased. Yeah, they are very biased. Isn't there an algorithm? Hello, Lola J. How are you? One has to go hot coffee or iced coffee. Why? Well, eventually the coffee just gets cold on its own, doesn't it? So eventually it gets cold on its own. Science squashes dreams. From what I see is 30% of Americans are against masks, probably. One has to go science, math, literacy, or social studies. Well, if you get rid of literacy, you get rid of all the others. So oh my goodness. So let's see. Oh goodness. You don't want to know. Oh my goodness. I'm catching up. I'm catching up, guys. All right. But what about the 82% of Americans who don't understand probability? How will the 65% of Americans who do fix the issue? Oh my goodness. You guys are funny. Oh, I have a new toy. Let me see if I can find it. I think I put it. I'm trying to find where I put it. I have a new toy, guys. Let me see if I can find it and I'll show it to you. Maybe we can play with this. I have a new toy. So this is a computer-based microscope. So let me turn on my little dock cam here so so you guys can see my computer-based microscope. It's like a little thing. I got this for Christmas. Let's see. So here I got a microscope. I thought it might be cool on my show to do guess what the thing is, you know? And so you essentially hook it up like that, and it's got a little stand, and I haven't put it together yet. But here's the little stand that you put the microscope on. And then you put a little thing here for it to see. I guess this is the holder for it. This is an unboxing. I haven't taken this out, and I got it for Christmas. So here we go. It even has, you can adjust the height. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I suppose I need to keep all of these wrappings. Okay. This goes somehow. I suppose reading the instructions would be important, wouldn't it? You'd be like, best read the, oh, here we go. Here's the other piece. Yeah. So got tiny bits and pieces to screw into here. So I can put this here. I thought this just might be fun. Got a little Allen wrench. So I can use this and we can have a look at stuff and be like, guess what it is, guys? That's kind of cool. And this is where the USB plug-in goes. Plug into your computer. And it goes up to 1,000 times. So it's not like super hyper fancy or anything, guys, but it's still pretty cool. So I'm going to be like, guess what the thing is? Guess what the thing is? And you guys will have to guess. I think that'll be fun. Send me stock footage on an eyelash. Might have a tardigrade, please. 1,000 times? 1,000 times? I don't know if 1,000 times magnification will get a tardigrade. Not certain I can do that, but you know, I don't actually recall their size right off. But you know, hey, all right, get back in there. I'm trying to maintain the integrity of this metal stuff, but yeah, so fun times. All right, I'll put this back here. USB cable. Put it all back where it was, I suppose. I think this is where it was. Yay. But that's the thing that I've got now. It'll be really cool. Let's see. Let me catch up. Mites. But my point here is that 1% of Vietnamese are against masks, not 30%. It's insane. Yeah. You know, I think also a lot of the culture in that particular area, they wear masks. So, you know, they don't, if you get a cold, you just wear a mask, right? Ah, my nose is itchy. You had a computer microscope like 10 years ago. Well, I got one for Christmas. It's a micro USB, I believe. Sinister Porpoise. I'll pay you for stock footage. I'll see if I can find one if it has a mite on an eyelash. I have to pull eyelashes off of my eyelid, I suppose. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Once I play around with it, I'll see what I can come up with. Scientist Mel from Animal Science TV says, if you want to help Animal Science TV, my top requested videos are the eyelash mite and tardigrade. I can't find much free footage. Well, I'll see what I can come up with. I will see what I can come up with. You can find a tardigrade with 20 times. I would probably, if I were to try to find one, I would think I have a couple of lakes nearby. Maybe I can find one in some lakes. And they grow on moss. Okay. Well, I don't know that there's any moss out here. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's moss, but they would probably be frozen, a little bit cold. It's kind of icy outside right now, but that's okay. That's okay. So, I was trying to think what else. We're coming up on almost 2 hours, guys. My goodness, we've been talking about a lot of things today. I don't know if I'm having a show with Nervardia tomorrow. I haven't touched base with her, so I need to see. So I'm not certain if we're having a show tomorrow. It's just been a crazy week. It's been a crazy week. Just from setting up the seminar, the webinar that I did yesterday, my job, just in general. It's been a crazy week, but that's okay. It's just how it goes sometimes, you know? I was told I wasn't allowed to build an electron microscope in this house, but I was allowed to try to build a Gauss rifle. What, sinister porpoise? What in the heck? Oh my goodness. So, I will be, like I said, I'm going to launch a new channel of just short videos. This will be live stream. And then I do have some short videos here, but I'm finding that there are people who really, really like the 10, 15-minute videos as opposed to the live streams. So I'm going to do both. And then I'll also have, probably on that same channel, I'll have masterclass. So that's my open education resource project, where I will have videos that are associated with general chemistry. That'll be the first subject I'm tackling. And I'm looking out to and reaching out to other professors to see if they want to contribute and do the master class as well, for different subjects. And so I'll handle chemistry. I think PZ Myers is going to do biology, so that'll be cool. And I'd really like to pull in other sciences, like physics. So I'm going to see if I can find a good physics person who's interested in that. And I'll do a call on Twitter. If you guys know of any science communicators, I probably can find a good astronomy one. I'll reach out to a few and see what I can do with that. But I do need a physics person. So yeah, I think mixing live streams with pre-recorded is a mess. The algorithm is confused. It's possible. So I'll just have, this channel will keep doing live streams, and then I'll start moving my shorts over there, as well as making new content for short things like this. Oh my goodness. But this has been cool. Americans, Little Wizard Bro says Americans have gotten so comfortable with their freedom that they have forgotten the most important one, the part where other people's health outweighs their right to be stupid. Um, it's the entitlement and the behavior is reminiscent of adolescence. And it's not being responsible for the common wealth of others. I mean, not being responsible for yourself in that you could be spreading a virus. That's not freedom. That's adolescence, not taking responsibility for your own germs, right? Not taking responsibility for you to not transmit stuff. That's not freedom. It's adolescence. And that's what I see. So, oh my goodness. I'm glad you had fun, Animal Science TV. What's up? Lola's doing her surveys. One has to go. Which one, guys? Yeah, you can message me on Twitter, Animal Science TV. That's where you can find me. Also, guys, I've still got a website. It's still around. I do need to do more with it, but I'll just add it to the 9,000 things on my to-do list that I already have. So you too can go check out my website. I've got a shop. I also have articles. You can, if you like to read the things. I usually post the podcast episodes here. I do have an audio podcast called #Hey Scientist Mel, but it's just the audio version usually of my live streams. I have some trivia. I have a shop. You can buy sciencey clothes. And some of these, the proceeds are donated to charities. Like all of my Pride gear, those go towards, all of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project. So, if you want to rock some merch and support a good cause, you can go to scientistmel.com and check out my shop and read some of the things that I write. I used to post like my research stuff on there, and then people got really weird and started to try. It got creepy. So I hate it when it gets creepy. Anyway, I'm gonna read a little bit of Mr. Rogers. I'm gonna read some Mr. Rogers, and we're gonna wrap it up. It looks like I'm probably going to be contributing to one of Hannibal Advanti's shows where I talk a little bit about some sciencey stuff associated with their show. I think the Ladies of Lols, LOLS, or is it LOLZ? The Ladies of Lols. So you can check out a little couple minute, 1 or 2 minute segment that I have where I'll talk about science associated with whatever their topic is. So that's pretty cool. All righty. All righty. So I've always, since Valentine's Day is coming up, I don't really care for that particular holiday, but what I like to do on my Twitter on Valentine's Day is post Mr. Rogers quotes because, Mr. Rogers loved everybody, right? He was all about acceptance and caring and understanding people. So this is Mr. Rogers' definition of love. All right. Love isn't a state of perfect caring. It is an active noun like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person exactly the way he or she is right here and now. My nose is itchy again. That's just how it is sometimes. So again, Mr. Rogers. This is the world according to Mr. Rogers. Love isn't a state of perfect caring. It is an active noun like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person exactly the way he or she is right here and now. So, I mean, love is so many things. It can be romantic love, it can be friendship love. There's so many different types of love. Um, but this all relates across the board, doesn't it? Um, so this all just goes across the board. And that's something that I try to do with the people in my life, is to remember. It's important things to remember. And that's what the book says, important things to remember. So I try my best to learn to accept a person as they are, and appreciate that. That's how you love someone. Um, you recognize who they are, and you just, and that's it. This is who they are. You don't force them to change. You can tell them when something's upset you, and have a conversation about it and let them know your feelings, and that's important. But you don't force change, and you accept the evidence, you accept the situation, and you work from there. So if you're not able to accept a person as they are, and sometimes you can't, if it's an abusive relationship or something like that, accepting a person as they are and walking away from that abusive relationship, that's also love. Um, that is also love, right? Saying, okay, it's love for that person that you're not enabling the toxic behavior, and it's love for yourself. So it's important to keep that in mind. Love doesn't always mean staying in a situation that's harmful to you or the other person. Love is also walking away and recognizing that it's not healthy for either one of you, and accepting that that's the situation. So that's what I take from that. Love is very, it's a active noun, like struggle, right? It is an active noun. It doesn't just exist, it's something that you put time into. It's something that you work on. And sometimes that work is recognizing that your perception of a person, what you want them to be, is not who they are. And there's joy in discovering who a person is and not what you want them to be. Um, that's where the love is. That's where the joy is. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's why I usually do Mr. Rogers quotes on Valentine's Day. So let's see. Because Scientist Mel has hissed off a certain shipwreck in his followers long ago. I don't understand what that was for. Um, oh my goodness. I make a lot of people angry, and usually those people that are angry have very low self-esteem, and um, they find me threatening for some reason. See you later, Animal Science TV. Imagine if Mr. Rogers and Martin Luther King got together. Now, I actually did an episode on Mr. Rogers, on Fred Rogers, and his contribution to the civil rights movement. He wasn't in the streets protesting, but he did his own form of protest through his TV shows. And he did an episode where he had a black man who I believe was an officer, had him play a police officer, which was very controversial. but he put him in a position of power, and he also had him cooling his feet off in a wading pool, in a little kid's wading pool, where they were sitting down sharing a pool together. That was a time during segregation where white people and black people were separated, and it was illegal for them to swim together. He did his own form of protest in the way that he could. And so if you have an opportunity, I did do a live stream about that, which was pretty neat. Okay. So I am gonna let you guys go. Have a wonderful Saturday or Sunday, if it's Sunday for you. And I'm not certain. I don't think I'm doing a live stream tomorrow with Nervardia with This Week in BS. This particular week was pretty grueling for me. Not grueling, but I had a lot of work I had to do, and I enjoy my work. So it's not like it was a problem or anything. It's just, I only have so many hours in a day, and there you go. But I'm hoping to have more live streams scheduled, and I'm going to set up another short channel where it's just 10-15 minute videos, I think. And so that'll be cool. And I'll just be moving that stuff over there, so you'll have 2 places to find it. How cool is that? Alrighty. Scientist Mel, if you were making a lot of people angry, it sounds to me like you're doing something absolutely right. Yes. Yay. Thank you for the thumbs up and subbing, Lola J. I need to put my little Streamlabs thing where it jumps up and you see like Nikola Tesla, like doing his lightning and stuff. I have stuff like that. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to end it with Mr. Rogers and say, you always make each day special for me. You know how? By just your being you. I'll see you next weekend. Have a great day or evening. Bye.